Hello there, welcome to Bryan Lomax Movie Talk and the 15th day of my August alphabet challenge. We're on to the letter O, and you guys who voted for Oculus, the film by Mike Flanagan. I picked this film up on DVD precisely for that reason, to be honest. I watched Gerald's Game, which I thought was really great. The ending had some issues, but then Dr. Sleep. He blew me away with Dr. Sleep just because no sequel to The Shining, unless it was directed by Kubrick himself, had any right to be as good as Dr. Sleep was. So yeah, really impressed with this guy so far. So I picked up Oculus thinking, I want to watch it. I want to see what else this guy has done. So Oculus follows this story of this sister and brother. The brother is just being released. He's been in a mental home, having supposedly murdered his father, and she wants to exonerate him. She wants to clear his name. He's being released anyway, but she still wants to clear his name by proving that the events that led to their father's death were actually supernatural. What the film does from that point on is have this mechanism whereby it tells the story both in flashback and in present day, and these two timelines kind of run alongside each other. So we see what happened to them as kids and what happened to their parents, alongside them dealing with the supernatural threat right now. If, of course, it is indeed a supernatural threat and not something that they've conjured up in their minds. Now, I will say that that element of the film, or potential element of the film, is something that isn't left hanging enough for me. I think if I had one criticism of the film, I would say that I think I would have liked to have been kept guessing right up until the end. Is this all in their heads, or is it as they say it was? Like there's an argument that takes place between the sister and brother in the present day when he's basically, because he's been through a lot of mental kind of treatment and whatnot, dealing with psychiatrists and stuff, he's come to the belief that everything that they saw was indeed in his head. It's something that, it's a coping mechanism that he built to basically get past the fact that his father killed his mother. So there's a great setup there to really keep you hanging, keep you guessing as to whether or not it is supernatural or whether it's in their heads. And I love that exchange between the two, where she sounds like the most reasonable person for the most part, given what they've been through, but with each kind of argument that she presents, he has a counter argument that sounds perfectly legitimate, perfectly valid. And yeah, so I just think playing with that a bit more would have been a really good device to create tension as to where the film was going. Now, as it happens, I think pretty early on it spelled out that there is definitely something supernatural going on here. Certainly right after that conversation I've just talked about, all doubt is taken away. But once you have that concept, do you treat it well? Do you do something good with it? And the answer to that is yes. Flanagan, it seems, is a master at the horror genre. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to send a chill down the spine. He knows how to position the camera. There are no jump scares here. It's all about building a sense of dread through, we see things on screen. They're right there, front and center. They don't jump out and go boo. They're just there, and they're hair raising. They make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up because you don't want them to be there. Flanagan does a really good job of disorientating you. So even though we know something supernatural is going on, he still does a good job of playing mind games in the sense that anything that can be happening to these guys could be a lie. So this mirror that this supernatural force kind of comes out of is able to manipulate their minds, the way they see things. So whatever they're doing, whatever they're seeing at any given moment might not be happening. And they might see themselves doing something back in the house if they come out of it, and like the people inside the house could be the real them and they could be the fake ones, or vice versa. So it does a really good job of just making you feel disorientated with the narrative. Found Karen Gillan quite impressive in this. She loses all hint of her Scottish accent. Obviously she's a Scottish broad, but yeah, I if I didn't know who she was, I would swear she was an American actress. She does a great accent in my book anyway. Obviously I'm not from America. I'm sure there will be plenty of people who could make the distinction, but I was sold. There was a funny moment in the film, actually, with Karen Gillan, which I just had to mention. I don't know if anybody else has noticed it, but yeah, seeing her eat an apple is very funny. It must be said. She eats an apple. There's a scene in which she eats this apple, and you see what's coming as well with this scene when she lays the apple down next to a light bulb, and yeah, it's. You see what's going to happen, but even though you know what's going to happen, it doesn't stop it being any less frightful. It still fills you with dread and tension, and because you don't want it to happen. It's that thing where actually Flanagan lays his cards on the table. This is what's going to happen, and because of that, because you know what's coming, it fills you with a sense of dread. But yeah, that scene where she eats the apple. I've never seen anyone look so much like a rabbit when they eat an apple. Someone else who impressed me was Katee Sackhoff. This is a very different role for her. She plays the mother in flashbacks, and we see her basically losing the plot, losing her mind, and she's very much a everyday woman. You know, Katee Sackhoff is known for playing tough women. I think Starbuck in Battlestar Galactica, and more recently Star Wars. Yeah, she's known for playing those really butch kind of could beat the men up women, and here there's no real sense of that. She's very at home, feminine kind of woman. It's just, like I say, I always appreciate it when actors can show you something different and make you believe them in that role, and she does that here, so I'm quite impressed with her. Oculus is just a really, really solid horror film. If you've not seen it, I definitely recommend you check it out. I think Flanagan, for me, is one of the best horror directors that is working out there right now, along with Lee Whannell. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to anything this guy puts out in the future, and I'm going to give Oculus a 4 out of 5. If you've seen Oculus, I'd like to know what you thought about it, so please do let me know in the comments section down below. Also, if you can donate to the August Alphabet Challenge, we are trying to raise money for a women's refuge in Zambia. So anything you can donate for that would be greatly appreciated. The links are in the description down below. But yeah, thank you for watching this video, and until tomorrow, cracking. Oh, bollocks. Hello.